You could provide your salespeople with commission. If you were just getting a compounded recurring revenue, you wouldn't have necessarily that upfront cash flow. So first of all, we'll provide you, and if you want to know what X's are, come to our booth. But we'll provide you, I gotta tease you somehow to get you to my breakout sessions. But on the initial sale, and again, what we wanted to do is, A, we wanted you to sell a higher package, right? 1, 3, 5 year. Well, that's easy, give you more money. Well, the other part is a customer. If we want them to buy a bigger package, what's gonna be the benefit? They're gonna pay less. It's kind of pretty straightforward, right? So, in this case, if you have a 3 or 5 year deal, you would get a percentage of the entire total value of the deal. So the bigger the deal, the more money you'd get up front. So as a customer signs, that's a commission for the deal. Then what we've done is on a 1, 3, or 5 year, in that first year of the agreement, you get a higher percentage. If it's a 1 year deal, it's X. If it's a 3 year deal, it's Y, and a 5 year Z. So it allows you now in that first year, the longer the package, the more revenue you're going to get. And then in years 2 through X, that percentage goes down and flattens out. And the reason why year 1 is higher is because more than likely you're going to roll a truck more often in that first year while the customer, the first couple of months, while that customer is getting used to the service. So there you have extra revenue to offset that cost. So again, we've done it from that perspective. Renewals are exactly the same way. Add-ons are the same way. Reductions, one of the things we want to do from a customer perspective is take the fear out of it. If they go, well, I don't know if I want to buy this economy, I don't know if I want to lock in on a 3 or 5. We'll allow them to reduce 25% of their contracted rate with no penalty. So if they buy a 100 station PBX today, and all of a sudden the economy has an issue, and they lay off 5 or 10 people, they still have a 100 station PBX, or 1,000 station, or 5,000 station. But in this case, they can reduce 25% without any cancellation fee. So it gives them that feeling of freedom because the cloud is elastic. It's got to grow and shrink without penalty, and that's the way we can do that for them. The other piece that's very important, and this is my little teaser, is again the One NEC approach. As NEC, we actually have a finance organization within inside of NECAM, NEC America. And traditionally, they're a lender. They let our dealers of ours purchase and use leasing capabilities. Well, I build upon what they've already done. So first of all, if they're already billing customers and collecting revenue, they have that capability. They have that capability. I don't need to reinvent how am I going to bill, how am I going to collect. So we'll have a very simplistic bill, right? It'll have the CP rental, and that's the piece I've been teasing you about. So you're going to sell all that infrastructure and endpoints and all of that, and you're going to sell it just like you do today, right? Except you're just not going to sell the PBX anymore. And if you notice, if you look at your splits, right, when you look at the total cost when you sell a CPE installed, it's a lot to do with the endpoints and the infrastructure, and not necessarily so much on the PBX. But the PBX, racking and stacking that and programming it, there's a lot of cost in there and labor for you to do that. So what we've done here is you build all your endpoints, doesn't have to be the NEC endpoints, you create that and you sell it. But instead of the customer buying it, NEC Finance, because they're a financial organization, buys that capital asset from you. So your traditional markups and all the things that you can do to be cost effective and you're competitive in the market, you still get to do. But now NEC Finance buys it, and it comes up on the bill as a rental to the customer. So it still stays as an operational expense instead of a capital expense. Of course, the cloud services piece we talked about. And then any long distance, those packages will have a certain amount of friends and family roll-up minutes. But if they go over, there'll be line item for long distance, extra long distance, or international, or any future offerings that we want. But a very simple bill that will go to the end user. The end user, you get to co-brand that bill. You get to put a message of the month on that bill. So it looks like it's coming from you, and all of your information and messaging that you want to your end users, you get to provide us, and we get to deploy to the customer. Very simple. On the bottom part, NEC Finance is gonna do some unique things. I've already talked about the CP non-reoccurring. You get your traditional markups, all the things you do in your traditional business, they cut you a check. They purchase it from you. But then there's the reoccurring revenue model, the cloud services piece. And because they're a financial service, they can front load. Because again, one of my goals is cash flow. Increase your cash flow. Don't wait for us to bill and then you get the money. We're gonna front load you 6 months at a time before we even collect a dollar. So now you get your finder's fee plus 6 months of the higher day one. Now you can take care of your profit, you can take care of your salespeople, all of those things. So again, a very friendly dealer model. You wouldn't be able to do this without a portal, right? Automation. Multi-level interfaces, right? First of all, it's supposed to be self-serving, but we're not creating a model that leaves our dealers out. So a customer can't just hit a portal and order this. But now once they buy it, they can add, subtract, feature functionality, automated. So first of all, it all starts with the dealer, what we call our associates. There's multi-level sign-on, audit trail, all of those types of things. We'll talk a little bit more about that. It allows you to build estimates, check out the carriers, project manage, user management, all of those things are built into the portal for easy access for you guys. You answer a couple of simple questions, it builds it out for you. All the SLAs are in there, you print it out, and you move forward with moving with your customer. Once they are your customer, they have an end user view. Now they can make some minor major changes depending on what you want them to do. It's all audit tracking. So you give them the capability to add phones. Now if they order 3 phones, it all gets automated. We ship 3, or you get notified, we get notified. If you have the phones in inventory, you just go out and deploy. If not, we'll ship them. We'll build them in the cloud, and you're off and running. So now that automation, self-serving is there, but it still goes through you. So we're not bypassing the dealer. And of course, partners have developers kits as well. So I'll just build this out because I don't want to run out of time. You'll log on to the portal. It'll allow you again to configure and quote, print out purchase orders, calculate your compounded reoccurring revenue based on the packages that they bought. You'll be able to do order management, track all the orders, all the different cloud services, pieces that have been added, change orders either before or after the installation, so it's all managed in there. And of course, you'll be able to see where all the circuits are. When's the MPLS circuit? When is the router being shipped to site? When do I need to be out there to communicate and hook it to the data centers? All of that will be automated. Again, provisioning, cut sheets. So you do the same thing you do today. You'll go out and say Betty's at extension 100, Jim's at 101, Betty has to appear on Jim's phone. All of those features, you do that. But now you just add it into the portal. You don't rack and stack any gear, you don't program it. Cloud Services takes care of it. You got project management status I've already talked about. You get to take a look at when you have to be where for installation processes. Again, that router example, best practices on setting up VLANs on the network, whether you're installing it or it already exists. All of that will be managed within the portal. And then support, right? Once it's installed, 3 different people can open up tickets. The end user can open up a ticket. You'll be notified, Cloud Service will be notified. More than likely, it's going to be Cloud Services opening a ticket because we're monitoring the network. You'll be notified, your customer will be notified. Or the dealer or the customer can do it the old-fashioned way. Pick up the phone and call you, and you input the ticket. All trackable, all escalations are all tracked to make sure that we meet our SLAs. Because if we're going to give our customers credit, we want to know where the breakdown was. Was it on your side? Was it on our side? Was it on the carrier side? So we can do that. So all of that is audited, tracked, and delivered back to you for that capability. As I said, NEC Finance plays a big part in that. And all through this process, there's different checklists. SLAs are part of that. Credit check, right? Everybody goes, oh, wait a minute, credit check? We have to do that? Exactly. So now NEC Finance, they're already used to doing that. and they can work, it's all automated through the portal, and take care of that as well. Billing collections, I've already talked about, the reoccurring revenue distribution and the CPE rental, all taken care of by another piece of NEC. These are just snapshots of the portal. Job sites, whether it's a dashboard that'll tell you messages of the day and those types of things. You'll be able to manage all of your estimates and also review and calculate all of your reoccurring revenue models. So we started looking at this last year, and I can tell you, and I think Jim pointed it out last night, when we started this, we were really looking at an SMB play, to be quite frank. We knew we might get some hybrid stuff in the enterprise, but I can tell you in fiscal year 2011, which by the way, we're on a different fiscal year. Our fiscal year is April to March. So March we ended our 2011, so we're just started our 2012. So during that fiscal year, we saw tons of horizontal opportunities coming at us before we even announced, because we announced at Enterprise Connect. So before we announced it was coming to us. Verticals, I used to say that the adoption of VoIP in the early Y2K days, the verticals sometimes lagged, right? Hospitality. There's a guest room. I just need a cheap TDM phone. Why am I going to put in a VoIP phone? They lagged. Well, now the verticals are driving the cloud harder and faster than the horizontals. And we're seeing it from hospitality, higher ed, healthcare, across the board. And lots of interest at the show. It was a great show for us. As I said before, we built this model with our existing dealers, right? We checkpointed it through the process to make sure the revenue was right, distribution was right, all of those things, so it was well received. I don't have permission to use some of the things we heard, so the names aren't there, but eventually I'll get the permission, so I took the names off. But these are all the big analysts that you would imagine that were sitting in Enterprise Connect. And you can see that regardless of who said it or what exactly they were saying, they were talking, wow, it's not just about the technology. Everybody can do BYOD and different endpoints and collaboration and communication. It's how you bring it to market that's going to matter. And you guys have something special with NEC Finance, with the way you're talking about your dealers, or how we're not leaving you guys behind. People kid around about it, but we're serious about it at NEC, and we've tried to make sure we deliver a model that didn't scare you from moving from CPE to compounded reoccurring revenue. We also built some great toolkits, right? We didn't just say go out there and sell it. So first of all, you always hear about try and buy, right? So now you have a 30, 60, 90-day free try and buy for whatever customer you want. We'll deploy 3 to 10 phones out there, a soft phone or hard phone. When I say soft phone, again, if they want an iPad client or an iPhone client or a MacBook Pro client, we can do it. So whatever they want, we can do. Any soft phone we can do. Anywhere, anytime, you've heard it all through the last couple of days. Hard phone, NEC, Polycom, etc., we can do those as well. So whatever the customer wants to try and buy, we can deploy. It'll be best effort, because we're not going to drop an MPLS circuit for an evaluation. But as long as they have a good bandwidth, we can set up and allow them to do that from a try and buy perspective. Dealer kit or onboarding kit. Obviously, we talked about contracts. You got contracts. There's always a contract. But you get trained by the cloud team, right? The whole infrastructure of our sales support team, account managers, sales engineers, the cloud organization. We'll all be there to make sure we onboard. We're also going to give every dealer 3 to 5 extensions. So now you talk about try and buy, now it's free demo, right? These will be forever. As long as you're selling our cloud service, you have it. If you need more than 3 to 5, let's talk about it. So now you can load it up on your sales reps' laptops or tablets or whatever. Take it out there and demo it to your customers live. They don't have to, what is it? Here it is. I use it every day. So you'll have that in your toolkit. Portal access, we already talked about. Partners, we don't need to talk about. Brochures, you don't need to write this down when you come to our focus groups this afternoon and tomorrow, depending on which group you're in. We'll have all that information for you. And it's pretty straightforward and you'll get this as well. neccloudservices.necam.com. If you have any questions, we'll get right back to you and answer those. So in summary, we've created all of the features and functionality that you'll see in our focus groups and that you've heard for the last day and a half or half a day, last night and today. It's all delivered on a very resilient, reliable, redundant infrastructure. It allows you to provide, we're providing you a very dealer-friendly model, cash up front, cash revenue, all of those good things. It allows you to move slowly into a compounded reoccurring revenue instead of just jumping from one to the other. It allows the customers to move from that CapEx to OpEx. Very easy to deploy, all of those things. And really, we get to offer a very resilient IT organization that can augment the customers and yours. So with that, I'm just about on time, so I appreciate everybody's time. Hopefully you found that enlightening, and we look forward to seeing you this afternoon and or tomorrow on the focus groups. Thank you very much.